live. Welcome to the Blessed Teach Show. This is Rick, your host, here on Saturday, December 7th, and we are talking new Q post about CNN ratings crashing again, as well as just all types of information, primarily around my favorite topic of the Mockingbird media. I love it. MSM versus Trump and Q. It's going to be a battle that they're not going to like. That is for sure. So here we're going to get into it now. We're going to get into it in about just a few minutes. I want to actually say thanks for Adelaide Maria Robinson being looks like the first one on. Walks in, waves. Hi, Rick. And we got Drinking Cow in here. We've got Cathar. We got Emmett Spears Jr. Thank you guys for all being on. Where are you guys all from? I see New York. I see Ohio. I see Albuquerque. I love it. I love it when that all happens, when we get people from all around the country. We are going to be going over these new Q posts. We've got New Zealand, Lewis from New Zealand. Thank you so much. New York, California in the house. Another New Zealand in the house. Florida in the house. Indiana, Arizona. Love it. All right, let's get rolling here. What I want to show you is I think there's 11 new posts. Who knows if we'll get more when we're going live. But you can see all these new meaty information that we get to go over today. And we saw yesterday when we went through December 6th, we did the D 1 through 6. And this is really wild because here we have in February Q talking about D 1 through 6. And now we know what he meant. He was talking about December 1st through 6th there would be shootings. Now how in the heck would he know that? That there would be 1 every single day. So obviously he knew all the way back in February that they would be doing a D class probably on Monday the 10th, and that the deep state would be doing their death spiral, right? Basically trying to change the narrative with everything they had. That was yesterday. But let's get into some of these new Q posts. First one here today was 3655, and he says, he reposts something all the way from August of 2018. So over a year, almost a year and a half ago, right? And it's talking about Mossad. And it talks about alternative media plus U.S. media and U.S. politicians. Obviously, alternative media is going to be the Alex Joneses of the world, the controlled opposition, as well as a lot of other alternative media that's here on YouTube, plus U.S. media controlled by the Mossad, as well as U.S. politicians. You can add Epstein in there as well, right? It says, those who scream the loudest find the connections. 1, 1, 1, 1. Primary, affiliate A, affiliate B, affiliate C. Marching to the same beat. Coincidence. Logical thinking. Q. Remember, Q wants us to think for ourselves. Use our own reasoning. Investigate. Do our due diligence. Versus just accepting the 4 a.m. talking points that control most everybody who does not understand the control-oriented 4 a.m. talking points that the Mossad uses, as well as obviously the CIA and all the deep state. Now he takes this old post and he amplifies on it today here, and he posted this about 10:42 a.m. and he says, relevant to today regarding F assets, usually foreign assets, deconstruction of foreign controlled intel, U.S. media plus alt, critical, untouchable regarding state-backed, Epstein thought so, puppets and puppet masters. Q. Woo! That is a powerful drop right there, where it's basically saying that Epstein thought he was untouchable and he wasn't. Even though they were backed by the Mossad, backed by the intelligence agencies, the state, etc. They thought they were untouchable? No. They're not. That's why Q is putting a shot across their bow. He warned us about this a year and a half ago, and now they're doing something about it. It's happening, guys. It's exciting. Hey, my sponsor for today I wanted to get into real quick. Oh, well, before I get into that, though, I wanted to show this. Look at this. The U.S. Marines say riders on the storm. So we saw the Navy, we saw the Army posting about and using terms that QAnon uses. So we know it's a military intelligence operation. We know that the QAnon group is under 10 people, under 3 of them being non-military. So 9 or 10 people with only 3 non-military. Most of them are going to be military intelligence. I think the other ones could be people like John Solomon or Sarah Carter, etc. So it's really interesting to see how they're just unloading truth every day. The only real mainstream media people really unloading truth in their great reporting. But it says Marine Raiders Marsko Official run towards their objective during a vehicle interdiction exercise. Parts of weapons and tactics instruction course 1 through 20 at K9 Village in Yuma, Proving Ground, Arizona. So there's the picture. There it is. I mean, that is a pretty big indication of another tip their hat toward Q that we're with you, right? Quite exciting. Here is the sponsor for today. This is the healthwithrick.com is where you'll get to this BioTrust. I have a package of this here, guys. This is pretty awesome stuff here. If you look at it from a perspective of collagen, is maybe the closest thing we'll ever get to real fountain of youth. The older you are, in fact, the more likely it is it's caught your attention for a good reason. Many health experts now agree that consuming collagen is crucial as it gets to renew and revitalize how you feel and look. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and is essentially the glue that holds you together. In fact, after age 20, people produce about 12% less collagen in their skin each decade. For some, it's an even greater decline. This means that by the time you're middle-aged, you could be producing less than half of the collagen you did in your youth. Even worse, various lifestyle factors you may have been exposed to, like poor diet, smoking, pollution, stress, and excess sun exposure, can deplete your collagen levels even faster. In short, year by year, escalating loss of collagen is the key reason people look old. As they get older, this explains why over time skin sags and wrinkles, hairs get thinner, nails lose their strength, joints become stiff, recovery from activity and exercise slows, digestive-related complaints seem to come out of nowhere, and in general, our bodies seem to turn on us. With the benefits of collagen, it makes the skin healthy and supple to look youthful, makes your hair young looking, supports joint flexibility, strengthens nails, teeth, and gums, promotes strong, healthy muscles, tendons, and ligaments, promotes stronger bones, supports digestive health, promotes healthy appetite management. So again, you're just going to go to healthwithrick.com. You can read all about this collagen supplement here. Let's get back to the Q post. Here we go. That first one I read was 3655, and it was summarized this way. Critical to deconstruct foreign Mossad control of the U.S. mainstream and alternative media. So we've known this for quite a while. For a year and a half we've known this, that the forum talking points, that the fake news media, that they get burner phones. They actually use the whistleblower protected system to actually in a confidential way get the forum talking points to everybody. And it's not just the media. Remember, the Hollywood people get, the Hollywood elite also get these forum talking points. The corrupt clergy, the corrupt politicians, they all get the forum talking points, so they can all be speaking the same way. That's why when you see the exact same phrase always coming through, like when Trump goes to Hurricane Irma, you hear he had lack of empathy, lack of empathy, lack of empathy. That's a very specific term across all the networks, across New York Times, across obviously what came out in the Washington Post. So all the newspapers, even the magazines, for 3 or 4 days, lack of empathy. Trump has lack of empathy. Trump has lack of empathy, because they want you controlled. They want you thinking like them. And if you don't think it, your friend's going to say it. Yeah, Trump has lack of empathy. So even if you're not listening to the mainstream media, you're going to hear it in the social circles, most likely. That's the way they control you. Then you hear it once or read it once, boom, you think that exact same thing they want you to believe. Here's 3656. It has a Twitter here for Kingston Church 3 statue. It says, what happens when people don't conform to the rule? And I want to do a warning here. If you have kids or whatever, don't show them this part of the video. or if you, this is an upsetting video, because basically you're going to have Hong Kong police, I believe this is in Hong Kong, and you're going to have several people getting shot as they were trying to protest this movement. None of them are armed, right? And that's part of Q's point here. So here we go, looking at this. Oh my goodness, it looks like it got deleted. Only approved followers can see this. So now they've moved them to they moved it to a private channel, so you can't even see it. Wow, I saw this just 2 hours ago. This was a video. So that's how they. That's another trick that Twitter uses to censor us all. So they didn't want you to see this video, so they turned this account private, right? And that way nobody can see it unless you, and the person doesn't even know they've been turned private. And so this obviously was done because they didn't want people to see what was actually happening when the citizens are not armed. They could be preyed on very easily. That's why he says, what happens when people don't conform to the rule? What happens when people cannot defend themselves? Why do Democrats want to abolish the Second Amendment? Quote, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's a Second Amendment right that obviously the deep state, it's not just Democrats, it's the deep state, wants to take away. What did the framers of the Constitution fear the most? Well, there's a whole archive of the founding declaration transcript right here. I'm not going to have time to go through all of that, but Q actually takes a piece of it out and wants us to understand this. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. But when long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces the design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. We, the people. Q. Just a reminder that the Second Amendment is vital for us to protect. Otherwise, you're going to be like Australia. You're going to give all your guns, and then they can do anything they want to you at that point in time. This is exactly what happened in the USSR when they gave up all their guns, etc. Stop bit burning, says Jeff Stewart. Exactly right. And this tweet that they just turned private is a perfect example of bit burning. You used to burn books in the olden days. Now the tech companies, the tyrants in the tech companies, which are basically led, as we know, by the satanic cabal, are literally keeping you from knowing the truth. That's exactly, and especially all the people that aren't awake to the truth. So Democrats want a disarmed American populace that they can control. And that's really the deep state. Here's the National Pearl Harbor Day Remembrance. This is Pearl Harbor 2.jpg. You can see there's a shooting there just a few days ago. Very sad. Again, one of those D1 through D6 shootings was at Pearl Harbor. I think 3 people died, 2 people plus the shooter. But again, we know based upon all the study that this is most of these shootings, not all of them, but almost most of them are triggered by what we call bots, which are MK-controlled people that grew up under the control of one of the intelligence agencies, where they use the MK Ultra program to actually be able to control their minds and get them to do crazy things like go shoot up schools, etc. That is just a fact that is now coming to the reality of the public. All this information is going to be coming out to a lot more people as we move forward. This is a 3658. Where's George S? I can't say that name. They'll delete this video. Another one part of their censorship programs. So Mr. Soros here says, Ukraine? Who else recently traveled to Ukraine? Panic is real. All hands on deck. So I don't know if you know who recently traveled to Ukraine. I think it. I don't know if it was Shifty Schiff going to trying to get information, etc. But Shifty Schiff has been breaking all kinds of massive abuse of power. Literally, he takes the phone records and releases them for a reporter, John Solomon. He actually takes the phone records for another one of his colleagues, Devin Nunes, and releases them. He takes the phone records for the lawyer for Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and releases those. That's talk about abuse of power. This man is, not only do we know because of the Standard Hotel and all the past things we've known that he is part of the satanic cabal, he is actually now abusing his power in a big way. And it's becoming pretty obvious to everybody. So panic, this is that whole panic in D.C. that we talked about yesterday. Here is some really interesting tweets talking about 3659. It's got a Fox News article. And again, the shooter manifesto was put on Twitter. This is an important point, right? If you go look at this, the Saudi national who opened fire in a classroom at a naval air station in Florida Friday morning, killing 3 before being shot dead by officers, wrote an anti-American and anti-Israel tweets before the Rampage report says. Now, what's interesting is that he put this manifesto on Twitter, okay? Now, they put information on 8chan, which were Q posts, to try to actually knock out and completely destroy the rights of the owners of 8chan because they said that was used for extreme sites. Well, here's an extreme person using Twitter. What are they doing about it? Nothing, because they're part of the cabal. Here it says, posted on Twitter prior to shooting. Calls to ban and remove Twitter. No. Calls to ban and remove 8chan for the same reason. Of course, they exactly did that. This shows the double standard. Congressional hearing? No, they had a congressional hearing on 8chan. Why was there a coordinated effort to ban, remove 8chan? What was the reason? Well, it clearly wasn't put in the manifesto over there of one of the persons that put it on 8chan. What was the real reason? What was the real reason? Logical thinking, Q. The real reason is they don't want you to see these Q posts. They knocked out the site for over, 92 days, I think it was? And Q actually told us it was going to be 92 days. That was the cool part about that. Here's the summary of this: is the coordinated effort to ban and remove 8chan was all about stopping QAnon. They don't want you to hear this information. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want you under control of the propaganda of the 4 a.m. talking points. Here we are on this 3655. He reposts this same post that he had down below, and he gives us a little tweet. The tweet is about interesting word choice on Twitter bio. Was. And you look at this, and it's the Drudge Report had this on there. It says, Drudge Report was a U.S.-based news aggregation website run by Matt Drudge. That's real interesting that was in there. Because now we know who controls it, because it went from a pretty conservative site to a massively anti-Trump site. Nobody goes to Drudge Report that I know, because they know they're getting the same fake news you get if you go to CNN or MSNBC or CNN. This is kind of funny, and this was all timed out the day, I believe, the Dan Bongino report came out. So if you go to this Dan Bongino, you'll actually see the Drudge Report's trashing him, but the actual Dan Bongino report, I'm not sure if he's actually released it yet, but they're bashing him and making fun of his service, which is really below the belt, right? See if I can find it here. Yeah, so basically they were making fun of his Secret Service report, and I can't really find where that is right now. I saw it earlier. I will get to it later because I have it in one of the queues. Bottom line is that this just shows that the Drudge Report is controlled by the same 4 a.m. talking points that are produced by the Mossad and the CIA, right? That is just the fact that everybody's awakening to now. We've known about this for a year and a half, but now it's starting to become more public as people see the deranged coverage from CNN and MSNBC and everywhere, where it's just Trump hatred everywhere. Now and you see it from the politicians, obviously, with the impeachment hoax, and it's becoming very obvious. That's why their ratings are crashing. So I say CNN, we're going to see that here in a second as well. So this summary of this is who really controls the Drudge Report. Now we know that now. Now Q's getting really bold here when he posts this Spygate scandal. He says, never has a president left office to collude with others to impede the next sitting president of the United States in America until Obama. So what he did before January 20th and before Trump took over was crazy. When you go, this is all stuff that's going to be coming out about how he allowed all this stuff to happen, using Clapper from the DNI, using Brennan from the CIA, and these two gave information over to Comey to basically start Crossfire Hurricane before he won to spy on the campaign. And then McCabe, those guys all colluded to, and he actually followed Trump, but to every world leader saying, don't worry, we're going to get rid of this guy. Don't worry, we're going to get rid of this guy. As he tried to basically run a organization, a White House, basically, as a deep state government. And he continues to do that today. Just ask yourself a very simple question. Why? The why will be publicly answered soon. Dark to light. Q. So this is very important. So Q's basically letting us know we know this, we've known this for a year and a half or more, right? But now we're seeing that this is now going to be public very soon. That's part of the FISA, part of the Durham report, all this stuff coming out that's finally going to, call out the satanic cabal that we've been studying here the last few years. Now, 3662 gets into knowledge is power. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Do due diligence. You awake, and thinking for yourself is their greatest fear. And that's exactly right. Sheep no more. The Great Awakening. Q. So guys, this is probably the most important tweet I want to talk to you about today. Because, the most important drop from QAnon is, this is exactly what they fear. Knowledge is power. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Do due diligence. You awake, and thinking for yourself is the greatest fear, is their greatest fear. This is the satanic cabal. Its greatest fear. Sheep no more. The Great Awakening. Q. So through the Mossad and the CIA and the MI6, all these intelligence agencies, the very reason why JFK said, I want to break up the CIA into 1,000,000 pieces or 1,000 pieces and throw it into the 4 areas of wind, right? To basically throw these 1,000 pieces of the CIA because they are a corrupt group of cabal-oriented people that all have the New World Order in mind, not you in mind. Have their power and their control in mind, not you in mind. That's 3662. Here's 3663. Talks about daily caller status. Here we are, Elizabeth Warren admitting that she's not an Indian finally, after getting accepted into Harvard, after getting special grants, after getting all this, basically telling everybody that she's a minority to help her election prospects. Listen to what she says. Finally, this is today, she says this.
But even so, I shouldn't have done it. I am not a person of color. I am not a citizen of a tribe. And I have apologized for confusion I've caused on tribal citizenship, tribal sovereignty, and for any harm that I've caused.
There you go. She finally admits it in open. And that was, again, I'm not sure that maybe when that was exactly recorded, but that came out today on this. A daily caller saying, a stunning admission from Warren. I shouldn't have done it. I am not a person of color. I am not a citizen of a tribe, and I have apologized for confusion I've caused. And what does Q say about it? He points us to it and he says, corrupt. Think Harvard. Think tax break. Think political career. Corrupt. Drain the swamp. Q. These are the type of people that actually are cheating their way to the top and getting massive wealth. Look at Elizabeth Warren's wealth compared to when she came in. It says Elizabeth Warren is part of the corrupt DC swamp. 3664 has another tweet. This is Karma Trump. It says fight, fight. Now this is a great video I can't play and I wish I could. It's a little 2-minute video and it's got, and it's basically the song Thunderstruck, right? And it's awesome. But it really kind of shows it. I'm going to start playing it here just for a second. And then
Media tried to stop us from going to the White House.
And that's about all I can play with it with the sound on. So I have to turn the sound off. But I'm president and they're not, right? And then this goes through just a huge 2 minute and 11-second clip. You got to go listen to this. It'll be in my show notes. Again, to get my show notes, go to blessedtoteach.com, blessed with the number 2 teach.com, and go to show notes. And you can actually sign up for email where I'll send it to you each time I'm done. And again, you can see right there. I just want to point out this is what everybody knows who these guys are. CNN, CBS, ABC News, the Washington Post, New York Times, NBC are our biggest culprits of completely cabal-oriented fake news that comes out on a regular basis. 96% anti-Trump, right? And so this video is just a beautiful video, just showing all the fake news. Here they were talking about Russia, and all these funny little clips in here. To Thunderstruck, and here's Don Lemon lying, talking about Russia. Everybody's talking about Russia. There's Hillary's talking about Russia, and it didn't work out real well. Here's Rachel Maddow now under a lawsuit because she's calling people Russian agents that obviously were not. And there's Putin laughing about it, saying because it's so silly. And so great video. Go see that. Again, I'll get a big copyright strike and cause a lot of issues if I play it, but that is the Trump karma. You can see it on Twitter there, or you can wait for my show notes, or you can search this on Twitter, Trump karma. It's at Karma Trumps with an S. All right, very cool video. Well, you can get there right from the qmap.pub. What am I thinking? Just go to qmap.pub, go to 3664, and you can play it there for you. It says fight, Q. Here's 3665, and this is interesting. Tonight it's going to be on Jesse Waters. I think it's an 8 o'clock show, I believe, and it shows. And unfortunately, he's going to be forced by the controlled opposition of Fox News. Fox News is horrible, and there's some night shows that actually produce truth, showing the truth of what's happening in Ukraine and what happened with this satanic cabal, right? And that is Sarah Carter and John Solomon, the two best. They're usually on the Hannity show. They also come on the Ingram Angle sometimes. Usually, if I tell people, if you want to watch any news from the controlled media, just watch the segments of Sarah Carter and John Solomon on Hannity. You'll be more informed than ever. I also like Dan Bongino, does a good job with his podcast, and he's got a YouTube channel as well now. And now he's coming out with the Drudge Report replacement. And Dan does a good job because he's always given us 6 or 7 of the best articles. Now he's going to give us 20 plus of the best articles to read where we find truth versus error. So that'll be really interesting. But here his Waters World, you've heard about QAnon. But what is it really going on with this conspiracy theory? A political science professor explains tonight, Fox News, 8 p.m. ET. So I'm sure that they were forced to do this. And I know he's a huge Trump fan. And I bet I would bet money he follows QAnon. But he's going to have to give a bad report on him. Because remember, Robert Murdoch is part of the cabal. I'll show you this. I forgot to show you this. This that I was going to show you is, if you look back at what I've shown you many times, it's 6 organizations that actually control the media. It's right here. Now that's my 15 reasons why we don't. This is a CFO. So you can see right here, the Council of Foreign Relations is the main controlling entity established in 1921. And every one of these people are members of it, including Fox News' Robert Murdoch. He's also part of the Bilderberg meetings that was established in 1954 that control these people. Another more recent one, 1973, was the Trial Commission. So you can see all the lines going to everybody. Council of Foreign Relations, the CFR, is the biggest one. I've done a whole book on this, right? And it's really interesting when you look at it. So if you look at this here, Robert Murdoch, and again, Maria Bartiromo, many of these people in Fox News are controlled opposition because they're CFR or they're Bilderberg, right? So just a warning. There's a lot of people here, and I'll put this in the show notes as well, so you'll be able to see that. I also, back to the Pearl Harbor thing. Probably don't have much time to go over this, but this is my PDF that I've gone over in a whole video series. This is called the Top 15 Reasons We Don't Trust the Media. I did this about a year plus ago, and there's a whole video on this that goes over this whole deck of the 15 reasons. I wanted to talk about 12. This is chapter 21, the Hitler problem. World War II, 1942. Within 2 weeks of the outbreak of the war in Europe, Walter Mallory, the executive director of the CFR, this is the Council for Foreign Relations again, and Hamilton Fish, the editor of CFR's periodical Foreign Affairs, met with Washington with Assistant Secretary, I'll blow this up a little bit, of the State, the Secretary of State, George Messersmith, another CFR member, to set up and study a group which could develop a wartime strategy for the U.S. The group, which met in secret, there you go, these secret societies, became known as the War and Peace Studies Project. One of the tasks of the War and Peace Studies Project was to develop propaganda that would cause the American people to shed their isolationism and to support participation in the European war to make the world safe for democracy. And it says, Baiting the Nazis and the Nips was the name of this chapter 22. New World Order money cartel had much to gain from the World War II. War broke out, broke down our borders, caused mass migrations, and gave rise to new countries. It promulgated diversity and undermined racial structure of existing nations, benefits needed for creation of global government. It was essential to bring the U.S. into the European conflict, but America possessed no vital interest in the war, and America remained isolationist. An incident had to be staged. It was even more horrific than the sinking of the Lusitania, which was also staged, by the way. Two CFR groups, War and Peace Studies Project and Century Group, instigated FDR shipping 50 destroyers and millions of rounds of ammunition to Great Britain. FDR closed German consulates, occupied Iceland to deploy depth charts against U-boats. FDR produced bogus maps saying Hitler's plan was to place South and North America under the Third Reich. The map was a forgery. FDR also falsely claimed that he possessed another document which showed that Hitler sought to abolish Christianity in order to produce the international Nazi church, but Hitler refused to respond. So Rockefeller controlled CFR groups, the Council for Foreign Relations, started provoking Japan and talked FDR into putting a crippling trade embargo on Japan and eventually froze all Japan's financial assets. By 1941, the U.S. military intelligence had broke the radio code that Tokyo used to communicate with their embassies and were aware of the Pearl Harbor attack and informed FDR and others. No warning was given to protect themselves. In fact, several weeks before, the island was stripped of 2/3 of its surveillance planes and much of its defenses. Results 2,000 Americans dead and 18 naval vessels sunk or heavily damaged. And Gene talked about this in a little more detail too. He's going, Rick, quick and short decode. 7th of December, Pearl Harbor shooting this month. And it was on December 5th, right? What happened in Pearl Harbor on that exact date before? The harbor false flag that got us into World War II. Pearl Harbor and Hickman Base were the only bases that were not given the code break on the empirical Japanese code that had been broken weeks before. Additionally, the president had a hand-carried message 3 days earlier informing him that the Japanese fleet was on its way to Hawaii. He did nothing but tell the messenger not to bother him again. The battleships were purposely left in Pearl Harbor while the aircraft carriers were out to sea. This was to get us into the war, as agreed decades ago on the right day. So anyway, hope that you guys understand that this false flag way to control, getting us in wars, and then the Rockefellers the Rothschilds control the money system, so they get wealthy. This whole cabal gets wealthy between each other. And now it's all being really controlled by Operation Mockingbird, which I've showed you guys a lot of before. And Raw Truth Media, one of the Cultural Impact System groups, is doing a great job and has a whole system that will be probably released in the next couple of weeks. EO2 Dave says, communists have been trying to take over the U.S. forever, and they will never stop. It's exactly right. It's really the New World Order, the New World Order believers. Those communists are the ones, right? That's exactly right. Let me get a water just a second. All right, let's keep on rolling here. And let's see. So anyway, he says, while a biased POV shelters, protects the host, the overall discussion, eyes on, generates awareness, Q. So this shows it's going to be a hit piece, that Jesse Waters is going to be forced to do a hit piece. Interviewing an anti-QAnon professor, right? But again, it's going to put eyes on. That's exactly what happens. We've had the media attacking us forever. Now here's the controlled opposition coming at it. But again, it's a biased point of view, basically saying that QAnon is dangerous, even though he tells you to think for yourself, do your due diligence. And they call it a cult, and they attack it. It's the second most attacked entity behind Trump. So that was the last of the Q post. Let me refresh and see, because I have a bunch of other news, and see how much I can get through before I go over a Mark Taylor prophecy as well. All right, we got more. Got one more. This is basically a picture of Adam Schiff, and it basically says link to the Mossad. So these must be Mossad type people here. Oh, it even says Mossad since 1949. So here's some Mossad people with Adam Schiff. There you go. Interesting. Father Day with my dad. This is my son and my brother. To all the fathers and grandfathers. This was back in 2017, June 2017 now. A happy Father's Day. And also, kids, remember to do something nice for your father. So there you are. You got a picture that on his, it looks like Facebook. And that is Congressman Adam Schiff talking about Father's Day with my dad and my son. So his son's wearing a Mossad shirt. Is that his son wearing a Mossad shirt? That's crazy. Wow. That is a classic picture right there that Q just dropped for us. So that was dropped just a bit ago during the show. So pretty crazy stuff. Now let's keep on looking at some of this other news that we have. We went over all that. Here's some other stuff. I just want to let you know, if you go to vote.co, voat.co, I go to QRV right here. QRV is, and you can subscribe to each of these different boards. I go to voat.co, and that gives you all these places that post on what's happening. And one of them's the QAnon those days posts, and so they post all of them up, and people talk about them. Right? So I just refreshed to get the latest comments. And there was the first comment I thought was just pretty good summary. Here it is. So this Anon basically says, again, an anonymous person, says, what if Pearl Harbor was a huge false flag, agenda to destroy America? I just showed you that. What if Operation Paperclip was a master plan to destroy America? This is where they brought in all the a ton of Nazi scientists and leaders, and brought them here. And if you go backstage, you learn a lot more about that, where they literally took over very key positions in America, way more than you would ever thought, including the DNI position, including pretty much any position that was over the intelligence agencies. So basically, we have the Nazis still controlling us now to this day, until Trump took over. What if the earlier Fed and the new CIA were main weapons to destroy America? Exactly right. The Federal Reserve with the Rothschilds, along with this new Allen Dulles CIA, was all about the New World Order, making them wealthy and controlling us. And then they got heavy into the Satanic Order with all their secret societies, because all these guys are coming from like the Yale Skull and Bones and the Masons, and all these higher order secret societies are the ones that control the CIA and the Fed. Mockingbird Media, their mouthpiece. The IRS given even more muscle power. Exactly right. Remember, we didn't even have an IRS back when we had tariffs until we put the Fed in, and then the Fed wanted to get paid for interest. So they put in the IRS to basically tax us so they could pay themselves. We get no value for them printing money that we could print ourselves. World War II never ended. The mission to destroy America. This is exactly right, guys. This is really, really key. Is after World War II, Operation Paperclip came into place, and that basically the Fed and the CIA and the Satanic Cabal took us over and controlled all propaganda, started controlling all Hollywood, control all academia, even some of the seminaries, they foundations and the seminaries and clergy. So corruption became all parts of society. America stood no chance with the enemies within at every turn. Exactly right. What you are witnessing is not possible. It is a miracle. Miracles more like it. Only the one nation under God could have survived this war of epic proportion. Do you go out of your way to discover this God of great magnificence, a God of total love? Do realize they hid God's magnificence from you. Discovering your own magnificence as a huge bonus of this adventure. After all, you are created in His image, a child of God, with a brother like Jesus. May this be your best Christmas ever. Merry Christmas all. And I'd say more like a Savior Jesus, right? Wow. Pretty powerful insight there from that Anon. I just love that. All right, I'm going to go through a little bit more news before we jump into other things. Here's this Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard shooting. We looked at that yesterday, but just showed that it's really sad. A U.S. Navy sailor shot 3 people, then killed himself in Pearl Harbor on Wednesday. $50, you go back, you'll probably find this guy had a therapist and had most likely been under MK Ultra of some sort and had been activated to change the whole narration and try to take our guns away. Here's the whole here's the bad tweet from Drudge, basically slamming Bongino. It says, trust the plan, hope and change. The Bongino report is live. He used to be a Secret Service agent, and then that's sleepy. Who cares? It's like, are you kidding me? Enjoy the show. So it actually points to the Bongino report. Okay, so it is out. So I remember did seeing this. So this says Nunes plays offensive following the phone leak, definitely taking legal action. So here's an article that's not anti-Trump. Amazing. That's why this Bongino report I highly suggest. I'm gonna actually, I don't know how to do it in the Brave browser. Yeah, bookmark this. See if this is let me bookmark that. Yep, home. So bookmark the Bongino report. It's bonginoreport.com and support this. This is basically going to point to articles that are telling the truth versus all the fake news. And here's all the top stories: election 2020, the impeachment witch hunt, and etc. Economies, cultural war, all the rest, immigration. Beautiful Bongino report. Looks like there's about 40, 50 articles you have. So let's support Dan as he goes takes on Drudge. Be really funny if the mocking by the Drudge report actually the Bongino report starts out producing it. That's all. Get rid of any links to Drudge report and start putting your links onto Dan Bongino. That would be my suggestion if you want to support actually somebody trying to show you truth. Now here is CNN ratings plummet to the lowest primetime viewership in almost 3 years. You gotta love this. In almost 3 years, and there's a whole article about it. You click that, you're going to come to this, and here's the actual article. And CNN's 24/7 Trump bashing strategy doesn't seem to be working. Fox News averaged 2.2 million viewers during this time frame. Look at CNN. 643,000. So if you take 6 and divide it by 20, you're going to basically get what the ratio is there, right? So they used to compete heavily with CNN. Now they're not even a third of what CNN's getting. And even more importantly, the worst performance in nearly 3 years, and the liberal network worst turnout among the key demographic of adults in over 5 years. That's where you make all your money, is 25 to 54-year-olds. And to have your worst ratings in 5 years for that's not a good sign for CNN at all. And that is just good news as we see them crash. Bottom falls out of CNN ratings, hit 3-year low, and it's actually a 5-year low in the key pieces, right? So that is a beautiful thing, in my opinion, as they get exposed. Hey, I want to let you guys know I was doing t-shirt contests and all that fun stuff, and but I can't post on my Facebook group. I've been in Facebook jail for over 30 days. I thought after 30 days they'd let me post because and then if you go on this, so this is I have the Facebook page which is still open. It has like 4,000 followers or something. I started a new one for t-shirt contests and stuff, and there's 150 people or so over here now. And right now that won't let me post on my page. And it says it's all because I shared something that they didn't agree with. So basically I shared this video and it wasn't in my video. It was another Anon's video said that where he thought POTUS was saying IMQ in the coding. And I told you later I didn't think that was the case, right? But fact checkers come on, and they literally, so Facebook jail, I'm in Facebook jail for over 30 days on my own page. I can't even post because I posted one article they didn't agree with. And isn't that sad? Because that's still a plausible, I believe, explanation that video was. And I thought the guy did a good job of explaining it. But no, you can't have alternative views on anymore. You can't have alternative views on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. That's going to show when they cook us off, so supposedly not being financially viable, right? But they're the ones who and I know I'm financially viable. That's why I have sponsors here. These sponsors like me on here. That is the funny part about they're basically lying to you is what they're doing. I do need to get to that real quick. Let me see if I can find that. Here it is. Here's the second sponsor of the day, and this is the Noble Gold with the Gold IRA or the Special Metals IRA. You can call this number 877-646-5347. Guys, this is amazing. I think because of the Trump's movement to the gold standard and just being safe, right? The precious metals just make sense. With stock markets, property, and bonds looking rocky right now, precious metals, gold and silver might be the way to go. Noble Gold are experts in precious metals and IRAs. They've kept thousands of families safe with their futures and were pulled from them. Futures were pulled from them under them. That was a weird wording they gave me. But anyway, call 877-646-5347 or hit the link below for the free investment guide. Again, secure your family's fortune and get a tax break with this precious metals IRA. Click here for more information down below or call this 877-646-5347. All right. Let me go back to a couple pieces of news here. We had, I think I already covered that. Pastor Carl Gallup, some of us know who Obama is. It's going to be a shock when it finally comes out. So Q pointed to that in 3661. Annans won't be shocked, but a lot of the world will be very shocked when they see what's going on. And look at this. You better wake up, world. Prince Harry meets with FLOTUS, deliberately sets Luciferian hand symbol for photo op. You cannot deny what you are looking at. The one world order, this new world order, people are ill. They are evil. The rumors are true. Judge for yourself. Now watch him. Remember, Satan's horns used to be like the UT symbol, where you put these two fingers down, right, and you have the two fingers out. I'm not going to do it. People will take a picture and say, I'm that. But I actually went to school, and I used to do that all the time because it was my school symbol. Now I know what it is. It's just Satan's horns when you do that symbol. He's going to do that to his jacket. Watch this slime ball. Look at his jacket. Does the Satan's horns in his jacket for the photo op. What a sick person. Symbolism will be their downfall, as Q says. They're all outing themselves about who they are. Okay, I'm starting to get a little freaked out. And now this guy's just talking about the D1 through D6 and how crazy that Q knows that. Could that have something to do with the looking glass? That's another thing I'll be digging into. We'll be digging real heavily into it backstage. The next one that we're going to do, Gene's ready. I'm not, guys. I'm going to this conference for 2.5 days, Sunday afternoon all the way through Tuesday. And it's the 4 pillars of Satan. So backstage, we're going to be there. You got a 30-day free trial. Probably do that the end of next week or the weekend. Again, that exclusive content with Gene. But you also have a lot of other stuff on backstage. You have the searchy tool where you can find an exact minute and second of what Gene says or I say or Mark Taylor says or Russ Wagner says. Again, the searchy tool is awesome. I've invested heavily in that. It's way better than the search tool in YouTube where you just find a video. You find within my videos the exact second and minute of any term. Operation Mockingbird. Search any term you want. It's called the searchy tool. You also get to see me 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after when I'm in studio, as well as you can watch those that before and after. Gene comes on sometimes afterwards as well. Hey, Gene, looks like Gene might be on afterwards this last 5 minutes. We get some questions to Gene at that point in time a lot of times. So again, those are all, and then you can watch the video if you miss it live. It doesn't matter. So there's go backstage. It's 30-day free trial during the holidays here. So go sign up for the free trial at blessedtoteach.com. You're going to actually just go to blessedtoteach.com. You're going to go to backstage. At the bottom of the form, tells you all about it. But if you go all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see the 30% off for the monthly. It's even for 12 months you can get for $87, but you get free 30 days to try it out. And you'll see how valuable it is. And again, divide the 87 by 12 and you're at $7 a day, $7 a month or something. So great deal, 30% off right now, and you can sign up for right here at the backstage and get the exclusive content with the 4 pillars of Satan, as well as get the searchy tool, as well as 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, whether it's live or the recording. Okay, so pretty cool stuff there. Put a lot of effort into it. Hope you guys enjoy that. Over 20 Epstein victims expose the reality of his worldwide pedophilic blackmail ring. So this is coming to the mainstream media now, guys. And once they find out who they're blackmailing, it's going to expose this whole satanic cabal I've been talking about for the last 2 years, that we've been talking about, that Q's been talking, that has been pointing to us. So that is a great thing. I do want to finish up with a Mark Taylor prophecy. So let me go to that real quick. And I think we went over energy last time. So let me grab the one that we haven't gone over for a while. There's Kim Clement. I need to get to Kim here pretty soon. I'll just talk about purging the temple for right now. All right. This is, again, he wrote this on April 2016, way before the 2016 election. You can find all of them on swordrescue.com, SORDrescue.com. Mark and Russ were on yesterday on Friday night. Here it goes. The Spirit of God says, the 501c3, those that are eating of it are not eating from my tree. For when I told Adam and Eve not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for you shall surely see, so it is with those that eat from the 501c3. For this demonic document that you have signed has now made you spiritually deaf, mute, and blind. Woe to those who continue to use this demonic system, for you will be exposed and purged from this evil cistern. The Spirit of God says, can you not see that you are taking a bribe? They will say it's all about the money, and for that you shall be kicked from my tribe. Taking a bite from that apple has taken you from a spiritual body to a brick and mortar, and has placed you under the New World Order. For how can you be a part of my spiritual body when you have cut off my head For those that don't turn will surely fall as dead. Tear up the contract, repent, divorce, bawl, and remarry me, and I will remove the spiritual blindness so you can once again see. Come out of this. Come out of this before it's too late. For my judgments are on those systems that I hate. Come out now, or I will no longer tolerate. For I will no longer tolerate. So that's just I know it's a hard saying. We talked about it a lot last night with Russ. That's why Russ has the free training, 12-week training on home congregations. You can see that at swordrescue.com. You'll see home congregation link to Russ's site. Russ's site, again, was Omega Kingdom Ministry. I don't think there's an S there with a period, right? So, but you'll get that link on Mark's site, swordrescue.com. Look for the home congregations. Home congregations is a new way to really have a true relationship with Christ. Have the community without the big corporate structure that's really separating people, many people, from the relationship with the Lord. So that's going to be an interesting thing. We'll see what happens there, but that's what Mark's talking about. Let's get into the scriptures as we wrap it up here. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. It's another one of my favorite Bible memory verses, right? And it's called, this is just one that makes common sense. If you want to actually make your path straight, you have to submit everything to the Lord, including your own understanding sometimes. Your own understanding is going to be off. That's why letting the Spirit talk to you, praying to the Lord about big decisions is crucial. Have that relationship with Jesus Christ and be able to do that. So trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Whew. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for your word of God and the truth that's there. And that we just know that we do want our paths to be straight, Lord. So we submit ourselves to you. And Lord, we're going to trust in you with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. And submit to you in all our ways so that you can make our path straight, Lord. And I like how this verse actually says, and he will make your path straight. It's the Lord that makes our path straight. Thank you for making our path straight, Lord. In this time of deceptive information coming from all over the place, controlled opposition, the mainstream media, and all this stuff, give us amazing amounts of discernment, amazing amounts of wisdom, so we can not only know what's true and what's not true, but also understand how you're calling us to help. Thank you, Lord. We love you. And we say these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on this Saturday night. Watch, I guess there's going to be a little QAnon thing. I'm sure it's going to be a hit piece, so don't be disappointed. You know, most of us, I believe Jesse Waters is trying to do a good job giving people the truth, but he's not going to be allowed to because his bosses are controlled opposition. Remember that. It's like Sean Hannity couldn't have certain guests on there. That's completely controlled opposition. It's a mainstream channel, so it'll be a hit piece. But I'm going to be watching Jesse tonight. I hope you guys are doing awesome. And let me wrap it up with this. It's like, wow, just look at all this stuff that we're getting. This is the CNN ratings crash again. Go down over, they're worse in 5 years for their key monetary area, right? That's how they really make money or not make money. How many viewers are you getting that are in that 25 to 54 category? You don't have viewers in that category, you are not sustainable as a company. And that is going down amazing. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Nick and Barbara and everybody. I think a lot of people said they're not going to Drudge Report. But remember about Bongino.com. Go there as well. And also make sure you prepare this weekend. There's a couple quick action items I want before I leave. Number one is prepare this weekend. There could be civil unrest. Remember, you got the report coming out on the 9th, and you have the IG going into the Senate, Horowitz, on the 11th. Therefore, those periods, they're going to try to change the narrative. There's a lot of chatter. There could be a lot of the staged incidents and civil unrest. So go do what Gene talked to you about. Go grab a backpack with a bunch of medical kits and pieces of water filters, the type of things. Maybe a propane heater. I went to Home Depot and I bought one of those right now. This goes on your propane tank. Got an extra propane tank and a little heater. I bought plastic and a little double-sided, what do you call those, Velcro. Just prepare this weekend. Make sure your gas tank's full and just everything that you can think of, the flashlights, the drinking water, all that type of stuff. Do that before Monday, please. Secondly, I forgot my second point. But I guess that was the most important point. Oh, the second point was get to BitChute. Obviously, they could completely knock us off on Monday. So if you don't have a BitChute account, that's where we're all going to be. BITCHUTE. Just set up an account there. It's a little bit of a pain, but once you get it set up, it's as easy as YouTube. If you stay on YouTube and we don't start moving off of YouTube, we're going to reward them for having controlled opposition and doing nothing but fake news. So please go to bitchute.com, and if you want to see me live in the future after I get knocked off YouTube, that's going to be on my Zoom platform, which is Backstage again. So come backstage with me. Right? I'll also try Facebook for a while before they kick me off. So I've got a Facebook account too. I may be able to go live on for a while, but that probably won't last long either. So God bless you guys, and thanks a ton. Love you. We'll talk to you next time.